evening. Something unrelated to any card gaming just for tonight, because it's the Royal Rumble in about 4.5 hours, I think it's from now. I really can't count. I've been working, which is dangerous. But yeah, Royal Rumble's tonight. It's getting on to 8:30 where I am in the UK, and the Royal Rumble's in about 4 hours, I think. So just wanted to go over the matches, the thoughts about where I think things are going, and how I think Royal Rumble's going to turn out, really. So let's just go on. Kick-off match, we're going to have the New Age Outlaws versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Now, Cody and Goldust have been holding that belts for some time, really. And I think as good as it is that they've had that, and I still think Goldust is better than he's ever been. I really think that they've accomplished everything they need to accomplish with those belts. I'm not saying that the New Age Outlaws have anything to accomplish, of course not. It's the New Age Outlaws, that speaks for itself. Anyone who's been watching wrestling long enough knows that the New Age Outlaws are one of the best tag teams in history. Definitely one of the best tag teams of the Attitude Era. I think it could possibly lead to I think it'll lead to the New Age Outlaws winning a title tonight, and it'll go to rematch. And I think this is the start of what's going to be the breakdown of Cody and Goldust, leading to their match at WrestleMania. I know Goldust, has said that that's not going to happen, but we know what wrestlers are like with their tweets. Look at Jericho. You can't believe a thing that comes out of their mouths, or their tweets anyway, because they've been told to keep it that way, probably, in that sort of context. So of course he's going to say that he's not going to fight Cody in a match at WrestleMania, because that's what they want him to say, and then it'll be more of a surprise when it actually comes to pass. Of course, nobody's fooled for a second. Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. It's been very weird how this story went, because it's been going for quite some time, really, in as much as it all started on that day after Survivor Series, when Bray and the Wyatt family went after Daniel Bryan in the backstage, and it has lasted quite some time, and I think they rushed the ending though, and they could have gone so much further with the concussion idea that Daniel didn't know what he was doing with when he went for Bray in the cage, but it's led to the match. The reason it's come to this way is obviously because of external sources. Like, I think it was it a basketball game or something that the entire crowd was doing a yes chant at an event that wasn't even WWE. That really went to show the WWE that nobody wanted to see Daniel as a heel. And as far as I remember, when that happens, there's really nothing they can do. It happened to Eddie Guerrero as well. Nobody wanted to see Eddie as a heel, and then when they took it back to El Paso, it went that way. So yeah, let's see, Big Show versus Brock Lesnar. I think this is the opposite of 2002. In 2002, the whole thing was that Brock Lesnar was unstoppable. He was undefeated, and then he came up against the Big Show, and the Big Show went for him, and and it really it went to pushing Brock Lesnar as a babyface. I don't think Brock Lesnar is going to be a babyface ever again. I don't think he can be. No, he's too much of a legit fighter character to be believable as a babyface. And there's no way you could put that persona into a babyface role. So I don't think he's turning there, and I don't think the Big Show, as popular as the Big Show has been, and despite having been at the top of the card for many years, the Big Show, I don't think, is the person to be beating Brock Lesnar at this time. I just think Brock's gonna win that one. John Cena versus Randy Orton. I'm not sure about this one. It's definitely. I think Randy will probably pull out that win because of the same logic that everyone always goes with. He's been put through so much, he's been made to look like he's got a disadvantage, so therefore he's going to win. And it's just like that. It's not like Survivor Series with Del Rio, when it was painfully obvious that Cena was coming back to win that belt and then retain it. So it's not like that. This is a genuine. This is John Cena and Randy Orton. This is one of the biggest feuds that has been on the PG era as a whole, and this is just continuing that. While I'd like to see the feud end for now at the Royal Rumble, I think Orton will still hold on to it, but I really do want that to be pushed aside after the Royal Rumble. I don't want to see a third one in the series Elimination Chamber. That's really, there's no need for it. And then the Royal Rumble match. One of my favourite things of the year in wrestling is the Royal Rumble match itself. Because you got your 30 superstars, and there's always the wild cards. There's always the surprise entries, and last I checked, only 20 people have been named for a 30-man match. That's going to tell you something about this year's Rumble. Can it match up to 2001's Royal Rumble? Maybe. 2001's my favourite one. That's why I'm choosing that one to measure up to. 2001's, 1999's was good, but the 92 was fantastic. That was the year that Ric Flair won. And just in general, I love the Royal Rumble. Predictions for certain things. Prediction number 1: Roman Reigns is gonna beat the hell out of everyone. I think he's gonna do a Kane. I think he's gonna go in there, storm, and he's gonna be the one this year that comes in, dominates for a long time, eliminates a lot of people. I'm hoping he comes in quite early so he can do that. Like in 2001, Kane came in about number 6 or something, if I recall, and just stayed dominant before being the runner-up to Stone Cold Steve Austin. I really, really hope that Roman Reigns gets that, because although when he came in with the Shield, I thought he was going to be the weak link in it, he's proved me wrong, and I'll put my hand up and say he has proved me wrong, and I've been very impressed with Roman Reigns. I really like all three of the Shield, of course, but Roman Reigns definitely has impressed me. Probably because I wasn't expecting. I'd seen Ambrose and Rollins before. I hadn't seen Reigns in NXT, so I didn't know what to expect, but I was really pleasantly surprised with Roman Reigns, and I really hope they can do something with him, and I really hope he can get elevated. The odds on Daniel Bryan winning have been slashed dramatically to odds of 8 to 15 on. Is staggering, considering he's not even been formally announced for the Royal Rumble, and last I knew he was being kept out of it because of his concussion. But that he could have received an all clear last minute, we don't know. If there's ever a time for Daniel Bryan to win the Royal Rumble, it's definitely now. He's just been figuratively on fire. Literally on fire, and if I said he'd been literally on fire, CM Punk would be all over me. Go and, if you've not seen CM Punk's Grammar Slam videos, go and watch them. They're a hoot. I'll put the links to that in the DB thingy below. But yeah, go watch those. They're hilarious. Speaking of Punk, I don't know if he'll win from number 1. Normally when there's people who enter at number 1, there's a history of it happening. One, I don't know too much about the story back from 95. I was still quite young back then, and I've not researched it. That he entered from number 1 and 1 when Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble in 2004. Because I'm not afraid to say his name on a video. When he won in 2004, he'd been placed into number 1 by Paul Heyman as a Vendetta thing. So yeah, he entered at number 1. Whenever anyone is put into in the number 1 slot, it usually means something heading into storylines. Whether this is leading up to CM Punk versus Triple H or Kane at WrestleMania, we don't know yet, but I don't think Punk's going to win the Royal Rumble off of that. He's already got quite a bit going on at the moment. Other than that, I'm just really looking forward to seeing what's happening tonight. And then there's obviously Batista returning. There's going to be an altercation between Del Rio and Batista. We know that. They've been at each other's throats on Twitter for weeks, and Batista is going to have a major role to play in the whole WrestleMania 30 thing. They did not sign him back just to play a mid-card role, to a mid-card match to Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania. There's going to be more happening, and I say mid-card match to Alberto Del Rio because that's where he belongs, because he's dull and boring. And it's the only time where I'm glad John Cena just buried him and put him back where he belongs. They tried to make him a face, it didn't work because nobody likes him, because he's shite and boring. Other than that, not seen Ziggler in a while. He could come in the Royal Rumble if he's not concussed again. Seriously, I worry about Dolph Ziggler. That boy gets concussed, he makes soup. But yeah, I mean, there's so much potential at the Royal Rumble when there's so many open slots. I would love to see. If we feel free to discuss down in the bitty below. And yeah, we'll see. And I will make a video tomorrow regarding how everything went and how it stacks up in comparison to my actual predictions tonight. Until then, we'll just stop there and see you tomorrow. Bye.